Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah, perfect. So, welcome, everyone. I'm Christian. I'm working for Bifrost Finance. And which one of you have ever heard about liquid staking? Raise your hand. OK. Which one of you have ever heard about Bifrost Finance? Perfect. Thank you so much. It's two. OK. What Bifrost Finance does. Bifrost is a liquid staking protocol built on Kusama and Polkadot, is secured by Kusama and Polkadot, and basically provide liquid staking asset to those who decide to stake their Polkadot, Kusama, but even Ethereum, Filecoin asset on-chain. It's completely decentralized Web3 service. We don't have any internal pool where we stake users' DOT. We basically delegate those pool to validators that stake directly on chain. So it's completely trustless as a system. We are deployed on Substrate. We are deployed on EVM. We are deploying actually also on WASP. And we leverage on the power of XCM that makes the whole interoperability of Bifrost way easier, because it's like the easiest way to interact with other parachain within the ecosystem. Right now, as you can see, we have 7 different so-called V-token. V-token, just to guide you through this whole presentation, V-token are the liquid staking token of the original token. Means that someone mints on Bifrost a DOT, he will or she will receive a V-dot. We have V-dot, VKSM, VFIL, which is the Filecoin liquid staking token. Moonbeam and Glimmer are supported by Bifrost with their vGlimmer and vMover. BNC, which is the Bifrost native coin, and also vETH, that after the whole Chapella upgrade create its own narrative now in the liquid staking ecosystem. Right now, we have this slide is a bit old. Right now, we have 39 million in TVL, and no, the users are still right, 85,000 active wallet on Bifrost. Yeah, and here are why, as a user, should I decide to stake my token on through Bifrost instead of going directly on chain, stake my token on Polkadot or Kusama? Several reasons. I can list some of those here, but I can explain better in the next slide. As you can see here, to lower the opportunity cost for a user, lower the risk of slashing, because Bifrost as a system that delegates users' token to the most efficient validator at the moment. These things keep changing, keep evolving, and it's Bifrost that automatically delegates this token to the best, to the most efficient collator on-chain. We have more than 100 validators. Actually, in particular, there are a set of 32 validators on Kusama, a bit less on Polkadot, and then, of course, without counting the other ecosystem. We have a very cool feature, which is a flexible redemption period. When you stake on chain, you are securing the chain, but the problem is that basically you have to do, kind of doing a compromise. Basically, you stake your token on chain, you secure the chain with your token, but on the other hand, this liquidity is locked. You cannot use it. You get surely an APY for that, but that's it. With Bifrost, the idea is to unlock this liquidity. You have your token secured on-chain. They contribute to the on-chain staking of either Polkadot, Kusama, Ethereum. But on the other hand, you get this V-token that you can use to increase your DeFi opportunities. You can put in place different DeFi strategies. You don't have to wait the unstaking period, which is fixed on Polkadot, as you may know, is 28 days. On Kusama is 7 days. With Bifrost, there is an innovative queuing system, which basically, when users want to redeem their token, they ask for the redemption, and instead of waiting 28 days, as soon as new dot are staked on chain, this V dot has released earlier. Sometimes, just to give you a rough estimation, for Kusama, instead of 7 days, basically the waiting time is 48 hours. And on Polkadot is a week instead of 4. Something else we are trying to also reach, we are working on that, is that like when users stake with Bifrost, they don't lose the governance capability of their token, but the V dot in a certain way get the voting power of the dot staked on chain. And this is valid for even for like the VKSM or the other V tokens. Why liquid staking? Over the last 6 months, Bifrost is active since 2020, but over the last 6 months, we saw an incredible rise in the liquid staking interest. If you are going to see like on crypto Twitter what's going on, you can see that like liquid staking became a huge narrative. There are like, thanks mainly to the Shapella upgrade of Ethereum in April, liquid staking, these are DeFi Llama metrics. I didn't make up anything. These are liquid staking metrics. You can see the combined TVL of liquid staking surpassed the one of lending protocols, even the one of DEXs, which is great. And we actually had seen like different benefits from this. We saw like our the amount of tokens staked on Bifrost skyrocketing over the last two months. Why user should have used like this liquid staking token? Okay, we have this token. They are issued on Bifrost, this V token, but how can I use it in DeFi? Over the last 2-3 months, there have been like this narrative, which is called LSDeFi. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's basically the possibility of using LST token in DeFi. That's why I like LSDeFi. That slide is wrong. Someone has made a mistake. It's not LTS, it's LST. That someone is me. Sorry. What are the opportunities, the use cases, the strategies that a user can like deploy on DeFi with his or her LST? There are basically different protocols that helps out these strategies. One is like the LST aggregation. I don't know which one of you has ever heard of like Balancer, Aura. We have put in place strategies with both of them to increase the number of use cases of our VETH. Same applies for collateral-based protocol. For example, like, I don't know, just to give you an idea, MakerDAO, Aave, those kind of lending and borrowing protocol, you can basically use the V token as a collateral for this token. Index protocol, which, for example, is Unsheath, that create like an index of liquid staking token, and V token will be soon added to this. And also like interest rate derivative protocol, which is something very close to the TradFi. And these are like, for example, Pendle Finance. Pendle Finance is a protocol which has conquered the favor of the public over the last month, and we are actually deploying a strategy also with them. Of course, it's not just pros. It's not just that we have only good things on LST. We are also facing different problems, and we are trying to solve this. One of these problems is the siloed liquidity. Oh, I'm on top of this. Siloed liquidity, basically, if you don't have enough use cases on like for a certain V token, you risk that your liquidity will be sealed on the protocol itself. You're going to risk that you have V token, you mint V token on Bifrost, but then how can I use those V token if I don't have any kind of interoperability, if I don't have any kind of partnership with either parachain on Polkadot, either other protocol on cross-chain ecosystem, like, for example, Filecoin. Another problem is that most of the liquid staking token at their beginning, they are not standardized. So there is a liquid staking token which is valid for a protocol, is designed to interact with that protocol, but it cannot be used around. It cannot be used on the usual DeFi. And this brings to a limited composability. So I have a liquid staking token which has no space for interacting with other protocol. And this is why 3 years ago, our devs decided to build on Polkadot. Because Polkadot has something that is called XCM. XCM is basically gives the possibility to Bifrost as a protocol and Bifrost users to interact freely in an easy way with other parachain, both that they are built on Kusama, they are built on Polkadot, in order to implement this whole process of minting, redeeming, staking, switching collator, providing liquidity as a collateral, in the easiest way possible for them. XCM is an incredible medium for us to interact with parachain. We open up, in the past, for example, I showed you before the liquid staking token of Glimmer and Mover. We opened up this HRMP channel, then the XCM channel with Moonbeam, and then we provided token on Moonbeam. This means that user on Moonbeam can use the vGlimmer, which is the derivative of their Glimmer, on their dApp, such as Moonwell, StellaSwap, and all the other dApps that are on Moonbeam, contributing to the security of the chain because their Glimmer are staked on chain through Bifrost. The same applies for Mover. And this is simply something that Bifrost cannot have done if we have decided to deploy on another ecosystem. But there is cons in this. Right now, at the moment, to mint a V token, so to stake your original token on chain and get your liquid staking token, the only thing you can do is go to Bifrost, connect your wallet, mint the V token, bridge it back to the original, let's say, target chain. We are trying to solve this in order to make the whole experience smoother and more accessible for user. One of the major barriers that we find out for a user, and I also had the chance during these 2 days of conference of interacting with a lot of parachain, and we share the same, let's say, struggle, is to lower the threshold for entrance of the normal user, the newcomer, the so-called newbies. That's why we are working on something that is called, this is the code name, which is XCM, I can move on this side, is the XCM Action Palette, which is actually called now, it will be presented in the next month as a SLPX. SLP is Staking Liquidity Protocol, which is what allows Bifrost to mint V token. Let's say I'm a user on Astar. I'm using, not even Astar, I'm using a Astar dApp, so something that is built on top of Astar. Instead of going to Bifrost, connecting my wallet, move my Astar, mint the V token, move this V token back to Astar, and then to the dApp, user from the dApp can, with a simple click, ask to mint the V token. Then he will interact with this SLPX contract that send the request to Bifrost. Bifrost will get the token, will mint the V token, and then we'll send it back with a XCM transaction to the user on Astar. This will take a few seconds for the user to mint the V token, and it will lower incredibly the difficulty. Even if it's not difficult for someone who is Polkadot or Kusama native, it will lower incredibly the difficulty of minting V token. The goal is to increase the number of users who can adopt the V token, and also to increase the number of use cases for these users, because a palette which is built in this way will allow us to interact not only with, for example, Moonbeam. We are already interacting with them, making the experience more simple for user. Not only to interact with Astar, spoiler, we are going to announce very soon the Astar as soon as this palette is live. but will also like allow us to put in place different strategies that are very easy to use for user. For example, user can use through this palette, can provide their V token as a collateral on Interlay. Or, for example, they can it's good also for protocol, because if we think about HydroDX, which it's a parachain we are in contact with right now, they will use this palette to actually use VDOT and provide VDOT to their Omnipool on HydroDX. I mean, it's open up to a whole new set of collaboration that will enhance massively the interoperability and the number of use cases for user. And this is just, of course, like the first step, because for Bifrost, like Polkadot and Kusama is just the beginning. Of course, in parallel with this development of use cases, of connection with other parachain, we are also trying to reach new ecosystem. I mentioned before Ethereum. I mentioned before Filecoin, which just launched their FVM, which is Filecoin Virtual Machine. And we are also in touch, you can see it on our roadmap, we are in touch with the Cosmos ecosystem in order to provide a liquid staking token of Atom. So not only like the goal of Bifrost is to go cross-chain within the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem, but to become like a sort of omni-chain LSD provider. And also like here you can see like the idea of even at a certain point when we're going to have a decent amount of V token deployed on Bifrost, also offer to our user LSD index. I don't know if you have the chance to pass by the hackathon area, but we put in place an hackathon with Encode Club together with Astar. There was like the possibility of like building use case, DApp, whatever, on Bifrost. Same applies like to these two hackathon. There is this Polkadot hackathon 2023 summer hackathon, which is something that is pushed by OneBlock in collaboration actually with Parity. And there is also this Polkadot hackathon APAC edition. Both of them are ending in July. You can see these are like the bounties. And if some of you is a developer and is interested in building a dApp on top of Bifrost, building something with us, just feel free to check it out. Thanks for your attention. You can just scan this beautiful QR code that I made myself and check the link tree. You can have access to our Twitter, to our Discord, to our dApp, and see actually how does this work. It's super easy, it's super simple, and it unlocks a sea of possibility for users that are interested in staking and liquid staking. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.